Hello, readers. I'm going to the beach today and I'm inviting you with me. Hi, I'm Jennifer Beckstrand, and this is Jennifer Beckstrand's 10-Minute Book Club. And today we're going to be talking with my favorite librarian, Lisa Paul, and she's going to give us her top 6 beach reads for 2025. I know you're going to love hearing about them. It was really a fun interview, and I got some really great ideas. So if you want to go to the beach, these are some books you'll want to take with you. Please go to my website and sign up for my newsletter because you'll be able to download a free book. And Maggie and Max is available on audiobook. And my 3 westerns are really great beach reads, really feel-good books with lots of adventure in the Old West. So I hope you will check all of those out. Now I'm really, really excited to introduce Lisa Paul. Lisa, welcome back.
Hello, hello.
So glad to have you. I'm so excited because the last time we had you, it was just so fun to hear about some of your favorite books. So I'm looking forward to that again.
Yay.
Lisa is the librarian at Spanish Fork Library in Utah, and she is going to give us her top beach reads. Did you choose 5 or just?
I mean, I have 6 if you'll let me fudge the numbers a
Yeah.
little bit. I put some on just in case. I always know that I have a hard time narrowing it down.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, so I was thinking about beach reads and deciding what it was I wanted to kind of focus on. And so first I just wanted to kind of talk about beach reads. We hear the term thrown around a lot. And we think about it a lot with romance, but it doesn't always have to be romance. I did choose romances, but they can be thrillers, cozy mysteries, fantasies, as long as they kind of maintain that light and enjoyable tone. One of my favorite descriptions of a beach read is pure serotonin books. Just fill you with that like good euphoric kind of set of emotions
Oh,
that, to pick books that are full of joy, that are uplifting and positive and make you feel good and are light and entertaining, that are compulsively readable, so that are easy to devour, they're engaging. I like to kind of call these books brain candy. Like you're not digging in to study something deep and like
depressing.
yeah, yeah, definitely depressing. Like you will come out of this lighter, and they're just so fun to read. And escapist. So a lot of times we think about beach reads as escaping or transporting us to those locations that either we're at, right? What kind of book do you want to take to the beach or on your vacation? Or if you can't escape but need to. So just those books that will transport us to that calm, relaxing, rejuvenating place for us.
What a
So,
That's a great
knowing that,
definition. Thank you.
I decided to. Last time we met, I met you from my home library, but today we're coming from one of the study rooms in the Spanish Fork Library.
Okay.
They are all literary destinations. So I decided to choose the literary destination from a series of books that is full of joy for me, compulsively readable, and escapist and transportive. So behind me is our travel posters for Avonlea,
Love
which
it.
is on Prince Edward Island. And so many of us would long to just live on those hills with Anne of Green Gables. So I come from Avonlea to talk about some fun serotonin beach reads.
Love that.
Okay, so my first one is from a series, again, from one of my favorite authors that I talked about last time. So I'm bringing you a different one of her series. This is Nicole Van.
Okay.
So she's just one of my favorites, and all of her books have this feeling of the beach read qualities.
Mm.
But the one I want to talk about is a historical romance series, and the series name is The Pen Leaths of Thistle Muir, and they are 5 books that follow a family and kind of their larger community that live in Scotland in the Victorian era.
Oh, fun.
And so you just get that great Scottish vibe and some amazing characters. They're so fun. My favorite book in the series is book 3. And like many of these intertwined series where each book is a standalone on its own, they each have a character's love story from beginning to end. So you can read them in any order. This one happens to be book 3. But it is based on Ethan Penleith, one of the Penleith children. And he is a famous poet in the time. He is just well known, renowned. He has kind of like hordes of fangirls that follow him around. He is well loved, but he's a young, vibrant poet of the Victorian era in Scotland. And he had once shared a life-altering kiss with an Italian girl in the hills of Italy. Didn't know who she was, has never seen her again, but wrote an epic poem about this kiss that they shared. And in Victorian Britain, it went what we would call viral, right? Like everyone loves this poem about this mystery girl and this epic kiss. And everyone wants to know who she is. Well, Ethan doesn't know until he sees her again. And then, of course, all sorts of shenanigans ensue as he is trying to, get to know her better and be able to, like, take that magical moment that they had years ago and build it into a relationship. So he is just a delightful character. And his love interest, Lady Allegra Gilbert, is your like spunky, independent woman character. And they have great chemistry. They have great banter. You have amazing poetry that he'll just start throwing out at her. I think you'll love it. So the next one I wanted to talk about is actually a YA series. So for your young adults, and it totally appropriate for your teens to read as well. And they're so fun. So this series is the Love and Gelato series. And the author is Jenna Evans Welch. So if you know Richard Paul Evans, who writes the like Christmas and the inspirational books, this is his daughter. Wow. And she is delightful. The Evans family lived in Florence when I was a student living abroad in Florence for the year. So I got to know them.
So you knew them?
And yep. So I got to know her when she was a teenager and then got to read her books later as she was an adult. But the books are easy to find because she has a more mainstream publication history. So Love and Gelato, you can find them pretty much everywhere. My favorite of the series is a 3-book series, and each book follows a young adult girl as she has a summer abroad experience. So there's always a new main character and she's in a new location. Cute. So the first one, Love and Gelato, is in Florence. Love and Luck is number 2, and that one's a road trip through Ireland. And then number 3 is Love and Olives, and it's set on the Greek island Santorini.
Oh.
So just amazing locations. You just get that summer abroad vibe, even if you aren't the one that gets to live it that summer. And my favorite is book 3 again, and it is Love and Olives. And it just is great. I love it. They were all very, very fun. Love and Olives has just some really fun side stories. So the main character is visiting in Santorini her estranged father. So he has left when she was very young and moved to Greece to pursue his study and kind of obsession with the lost city of Atlantis.
Oh.
And so she has this history of being engaged with her father in this mystery and search for the lost city of Atlantis. And he calls her in to work with him. And so there's a lot of um, forgiveness and like processing through the family history and trauma. Um, there's learning to trust her father again, plus all of the really fun, kind of mysterious and almost mystical attachment to the lost city of Atlantis. Um, and her love interest is her father's new protege. So there's a lot of kind of friction there, but it's great.
What a cute idea.
Okay, so my next series is the Skymar series by Pepper Basham. So Pepper Basham is a Christian romance author. And this series, she has a wide variety. So some contemporary, some historical. This one is one of her contemporary series.
I feel like
And
I've
it
heard of
is,
her. That's anyway,
yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
This series follows a tight-knit Christian family from Mount Airy, North Carolina.
Okay.
So just this rural small town in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And each book links this family from Appalachia to members of a very small community in a small European island nation called Skymar. And they have their own like aristocracy, and they have a like royal family. From I did some digging as I was reading because I was like, I need to know more about this place. I think it's fictional, but it is meant to be this kind of small island country. And my favorite of those books, there are 3 books in the Skymar series. My favorite is number 1, and it is called Authentically Izzy. And it's my favorite because the main character is a librarian. So she's just adorable. She's actually the cousin of the other siblings that you meet in this family. So there are 2 sisters, a brother, and then Izzy, who is their cousin, but her parents died in a car accident when she was young. So she is raised as a sibling with her cousins. She's been at their house since she was very young. But there's that tension in her personal experience of, do I really fit in? Am I really an official member of this family, or am I a burden to my family members that have taken me in? So there's a lot of that. But her oldest cousin, who is married, and none of the other siblings or her cousin are married, is a matchmaker. She wants them all to be as happy as she is. So she secretly creates a dating profile for Izzy. And Izzy is like, no, I don't want to participate in online dating. That does not sound fun to me. But she connects with this book lover in Skymar. And they're like, you know, let's just be friends. We'll kind of be pen pals on this app and off. And so it's, again, an epistolary novel where it's primarily written in their emails, their texts, their interactions online as they get to know each other and build a relationship. But they're just delightful people, both of them. Izzy and Brody is his name. And yeah, there's just watching them come together and deciding if they can make the sacrifices that they need to be together, because they are both so much a part of their small community and their tight-knit family, and they're needed and valued and have a place in their hometowns, that they don't know how to decide how to be together. My next one is well, I actually had two books. I couldn't narrow it down between two of Jenny Proctor's books. So Jenny Proctor also writes clean romances and primarily rom-coms. She just has such fun rom-coms.
She does. I love her I've interviewed her on this
Uh-huh.
book club before, but I love the concept she has. She just is so
Yeah,
creative.
they are just so fun. They really are so fun. So, which is why I narrowing it down to two was the best I could do. So my top two Jenny Proctors both come from the middle of a series. So the first one I'll talk about is How to Kiss a Movie Star.
Cute.
And that is from the Hawthorne Brothers series.
Mm.
And it is this massive Hollywood star coming back to his hometown in the mountains in Appalachia again, and just trying to get away from the type of lifestyle that he was having in Hollywood, and is trying to avoid the paparazzi. And she is a wildlife biologist who has been studying rare white squirrels on that property. And the property used to be owned by her college, by her university, and has been purchased by this Hollywood star. And so he thinks that she's trespassing and is a paparazzi and trying to sneak pictures of him. And she is just trying to take pictures of these rare white squirrels. And she has no idea who he is and does not care about his fame. And so instead of calling the police or refusing to let her on his property, he makes a deal with her that she can take pictures of the rare white squirrels if she will act as his fake girlfriend.
Good.
The other one I loved by Jenny Proctor was in the Some Kind of Love series, and it was number 2, and it's called Love Unexpected. Mm-hmm. And the main characters, again, there's a YouTube, the male main character is a YouTube famous influencer and content creator. And Rosie, one of his collaborators and one of his team members, has extreme social anxiety but has a massive crush on her boss. But she cannot talk to him about it. She cannot approach him. And they're on this road trip for weeks. And so there's that forced proximity. There's a road trip, the kinds of things that happen on a road trip. And she decides, in order to take the first steps for him to get to know her, she's going to get to know him anonymously online. So you get one of those experiences, kind of like You've Got Mail, where you have the online anonymous relationship building at the same time as the in-person forced proximity road trip relationship is building as well. So it's really fun to see that both of those happening at the same time. And okay, my next author is Catherine Center. So she is one of my top authors. I love her books. I did not include her last time because she is a closed door romance author. So there will never be anything explicit, but she just will cover topics that some readers might feel a little bit uncomfortable with, right? She'll like allude to, like sexual activities outside of marriage. So if you're really sensitive, you might steer clear, but there won't be any explicit sexual content.
Okay.
But what I love about Catherine Center as a writer is that she has this really great way of putting really difficult life experiences into rom-coms in a way that you can really dig deep into hard things and still be completely joyful and hopeful. And just, I love how she can touch both things at once. Seriously, the last 3 years, her whatever book came out has been in my top three books. Um,
Wow.
so last year it was the rom-comers. If you haven't read that, it's great. The year before that was Hello Stranger. But it's called The Love Haters. And it's set in Key West, Florida. So you definitely get that tropical experience. And one of the side characters is just so flamboyantly quirky and amazing. She immediately dresses this main character, who's always just in a black t-shirt and jeans, in like floral prints and bright colors and flowing dresses and big sun hats. And she just brings some joy and tropical zest to this main character's life. And it's so fun. So the main character is a videographer who can't swim, but has to do a profile on a US Coast Guard rescue swimmer. And in order to create this video essay, more or less, she's doing a documentary, she will have to go up in the helicopter with the rescue swimming team. But in order to be allowed on the helicopter, she has to be trained to survive a water catastrophe, right? Like if the helicopter goes down, it's going to be over the water. So you have to be able to get out when the helicopter is submerged and then swim away. And so she has to go through this training, but she has no ability to swim and is afraid of water. So, but she's also dealing with a lot of body image, self-image. There's some references to previous disordered eating. And you really get to watch her learn to love herself. So there's this love story between her and her body, just learning the power and beauty and importance of her own body.
Oh,
And
wow, that's it.
also,
I love that. That's a
I
great,
know. And every one of Catherine
exciting
Center's books has something like that,
like that.
something that your character is going to grow personally, as well as the love story. And they really are really worth reading. So this
Wow,
year, go read The Love Haters and get to know Katie and Hutch.
so fun. Wow.
Okay, number 6, my bonus, because I can't narrow things down, is Melissa Ferguson. So I have my previous favorites have been Meet Me in the Margins and How to Plot a Payback. So again, she just has fun romantic comedies. They're on her website says they're just full of humor and heart. So you just will get a really fun, breezy, sweet, humorous experience in Melissa Ferguson's rom-coms. But then again, this year it has another layer, a little bit of depth to it as well. This year's release was in February. The book came out and it is called The Perfect Rom-Com. And it is about a ghostwriter who has her own pet project that is very dear to her heart. She's trying to save The Bridge, which is her grandmother's organization that teaches ESL to immigrants. And she's been teaching at this English as a second language school for years, but it's going under and they need funding. And she's hoping to write this book to light the fire under the readers to help support this organization, to keep it alive and well. And is just shot down immediately when she tries to pitch her book. but is brought in by this publisher to be a ghostwriter for a romance novelist who has the following, but doesn't actually write. And so they hire this ghostwriter, and she creates the voice for this writer that everyone loves. Like, she instantly becomes a New York Times bestseller. They try to push her to get more and more of these romance books out. She just has millions of readers and followers now, but is a ghostwriter, is not the face of the project. But the influencer is tanking at book events. She doesn't read the books. She can't answer the questions, and people are going to find out that she's not writing her books. So they bring the ghostwriter along on the tour, on the book release tour, and mic her up and have her feed lines to the writer, who are the face of the novels, who is just entitled and snarky and obnoxious, and you don't love her. But the whole time, this sweet ghostwriter is just trying to get her own passion project book published, and just keeps getting told no. And of course, at the same time, is falling in love with her editor and her link in the publishing house. And so you have to kind of see, how is she going to trust him to help her with her project, or are they not going to be able to make it because of that personal problem? So you have to watch them go through that, but it's a lot of fun.
That is such an interesting premise. Wow, those are all wonderful suggestions. Wow, you do obviously do a lot of reading.
Yes. I love, yes, I love to read. And so, yes, I have to narrow down to tell you which ones, but there's some really, really fun books to make your summer just a delight.
Just wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, thank you so, so much. I know I'm going to go check out a few of those books. You know, my to be read pile is 70 feet high, but
It
I
always
love
is.
a good, just light, fun book. I love a good beach read because, you know, sometimes life is just hard and you just want something real easy and feel good. So
Yep.
that's so great. Well, thank you
Just
so much for being here.
brings joy to the world, and that's what we need more of.
That's right.